And welcome back to Game Escape. Here today with my impressions of the PlayStation 4. I've had it now for a little over 48 hours, and I've really been enjoying the system. It has been a more or less painless kind of process, although a few issues have cropped up that I will talk about. But I figured I'd just start with the design and the controller. As I pointed out in my unboxing video, a lot of people, I think, complain that the design was a little cheap, was a little plasticky, and I think that's fair, but it is more than adequate. It is kind of the same quality of your standard set-top box under the television. My only complaint with the design is the CD or the Blu-ray tray. Not having it clearly labeled, it's kind of difficult to know exactly where to put the disc in. And I say that because, I have my system set up in a kind of a fairly dark entertainment area. And in fact, I can just show it to you right here. So there it is. At night, with the light shut off, sometimes it's difficult to see actually where to put the disc in. I liked on the PS3 how kind of the front had like a little sheen to it, at least on the slim model. So that would be my only design complaint. Heat characteristics, really, really good. It is not as hot as the Xbox 360, and I have a 2010 Xbox 360. So after about, I don't know, my longest gameplay session was 4 or 5 hours straight. It was warm to the touch, but not hot, and certainly no smell of burning electronics. Well, hopefully not burning electronics, but you know how sometimes you get that scent, that particular scent when plastic gets hot. You don't have that with the PlayStation 4 controller. Now, having used it for the past couple of days, the controller is very, very good. It feels natural. It feels like a PlayStation controller, but just a little bit more comfortable. Love the triggers. The analog sticks are really, really good, really, really accurate for things like Killzone, for example. I really felt like I had a really fine degree of control over the aiming, which I never had on the PlayStation 3, and it's actually better than the Xbox 360. So, other than that, it is a perfectly capable design, and very, very happy with it. Alright, so moving on, let's take a look at the user interface and the operating system. Very slick, very easy to find what you're looking for. Basically, this is the home screen. You can see all of your games. If you sort of look down at what's new, you can see kind of your social feed. I don't know why that just happened. Sort of kicked out. So now we're seeing our first little issue as I was showing the social feed sort of knocked out of there. Here's your TV and video, different services here obviously. Has pretty much the standard fare here, Crunchyroll, Hulu, Amazon, Netflix. You can sign up for the video and audio services with Sony, and what is kind of surprising, click on what's new. Usually, and I don't know why, again, this is not happening, but if you sort of scroll down, you can see your social feeds and kind of I guess, the community feeds for each game that you have. So, can't really explain why that's not working at the moment. You have your trophies up here. There's all the system information, settings, party chat, messages, friends, notifications. What I really like about the user interface is the fact that, in the operating system, it kind of hides all of the updates, and it gets you into the game very quickly. So it'll just download these updates by itself. It'll give you an alert when things are done. You can really jump into your game. Obviously, if you buy a game and it's downloading, you can start to play right away. And that was really the problem with the old PlayStation 3, is that the updating process was frequently a barrier to getting you into your game. So I think the system is very respectful of your time. If you hit the share button, which is pretty cool, you can upload a video clip, you can upload a screenshot. If you're in a game, you can hook into YouTube, or excuse me, you can hook into Ustream or Twitch, and that functionality really is excellent. If you've ever had to, stream from a computer and you've got the double monitor, you have to get the chat in your video feed, which is a pain in the neck. You have to use XSplit or Open Broadcaster, which, they work well, but they're a little bit sort of labor intensive to get working. The quality of the stream is excellent, and it is just very easy to set up, and you've got your chat right there. So let's see. I even like the menu music, but I'll turn it off here in a little bit. I'm just really surprised that I can't actually show you the sort of social features of these games. The speed is very, very good. There is no lag. For instance, if you go onto the PlayStation Store, if you remember, again, loaded very quickly. If you remember from the PS3, this system sort of moved at a glacial pace. So you just click on games, and here you have all of your games. See, it's moving really, really nicely. PlayStation Plus stuff. You can see all of the various things you get with PlayStation Plus. Obviously, your day one digital downloads, indies, add-ons. So it's very, very, very much an improvement over what we had before. So if we X out of that, again, nice speed. Now here we have the social features. Again, down here, I don't really have any friends online, not a big online player, but this is just more or less documenting what I'm doing. And yet we can't see that for each game. So I don't know if it's updating or what, but usually for each game down below you would have something similar to, like what are other people doing in the game, what are some of the updates that are available or downloadable content. Live from PlayStation, you can actually then search people who are streaming. So if we look at Twitch, you can just click on Twitch. You've got no interactive broadcast, but you can click on NBA 2K14, and I guess this person just sort of signed off, but again, you can comment, and you can actually hook up, I believe, a Bluetooth keyboard, certainly a USB keyboard. When I stream, I mean, the included microphone is not great, but I actually was able to hook up my Blue Snowball microphone to the USB port, and the sound is okay. Let's try to get another example. 2K14 here. I'm running on Wi-Fi. As you can see, it's a bit pixelated on this end. I don't know if that has to do with the stream. It shouldn't be my connection, but it was very, very cool, and you can actually see the comments cropping up. This is a wonderful, wonderful feature. Now, as far as issues, I know there are reports of the blue light of death, things like that. I did have two issues. The first issue was when I logged in to the system one time, on the page that lets you sort of select you as yourself as a user or another user, it was very, very laggy, and then the system basically crashed, and I only had, if you can look on the top of the screen here, you see underneath where it says Game Escape and the two little happy faces, the messaging icon, there's that white bar. All I had was that white bar, and the system was just completely unresponsive. I actually had to unplug it, plugged it back in, it booted into safe mode, it did a memory check, and then loaded into the regular OS, and it's been working okay since then. Another issue that I had was when I plugged in a USB headset for the first time, I got an error message. And aside from that, those are the only two issues I've had. I mean, it's a little bit concerning because, well, it's a new system. You hope that it doesn't have any issues, but like I said, I've played it for a couple of hours and it's been fine. But let's talk about the games. I picked up, as a physical copy, I picked up Killzone and Madden 25. Killzone, of course, is the game that really, I think, shows off the system as well as it can be shown off. I mean, it has gorgeous graphics. It's one of the most beautiful games that I've seen on a console, and just I think it's Chapter 4, where you fly over Vectin City. It is just really, really amazing with all of the reflection techniques and the waterfalls and the transparency effects. It is absolutely wonderful. As a game, however, it's still, I never liked Killzone, and this isn't doing it for me. It feels very generic. It does not have a great story, although I know that a shooter necessarily has to have a great story, but I think the pacing is just very slow. The checkpoint system, it's a lot of time between checkpoints, and if you have to sort of jump out of a game, you're really set back the next time you load it up. So, I mean, you really have to play it chapter by chapter. And quite frankly, it can get a little bit boring. So I'm not a huge Killzone fan. It's just one of those things that I'll, play it, maybe a chapter a week, but I have no sort of desire to run through it. Madden 25, like I said in my unboxing video, Madden has always been a staple for me when I get the new PlayStation, at least since the PlayStation 2. The PlayStation 1, I got Madden a little bit later. But, I was thinking I would be horribly disappointed. It's not terrible. It's not, really, really it doesn't really have a lot of eye candy. It's not this heart-stopping next-gen experience. But it's okay for what it is. And, if you need a football fix, I didn't play the game this year, so it's okay. I've actually put a fair amount of time into it, like I said, just because I haven't played a Madden game since last fall. My favorite game is Resogun. Resogun's absolutely terrific defender-style shooter, and it's just incredibly addictive and beautiful to look at. Wonderful music. And in fact, there's one thing I want to mention is the sound quality on the PS4 is so mumuch better than on the PS3. I was really, really shocked at how great this thing sounds. I've got it going through a Pioneer 5.1 channel receiver with some Polk audio speakers attached to it. And it actually is, it can rattle the windows. And the PS3 I never thought sounded that great through the system. So this is really, really an improvement. But Resogun, absolutely terrific. I got Flower on the cross-buy. I guess if you bought it on the PS3, which I did back in 2008, you could just download it for free. And it's a lot of fun. Runs at 60 frames per second. And just the sort of wind effect in the grass is excellent. It's just so much better than on the PS3. And then lastly, I downloaded Contrast. It's okay. It's, it's innovative. On-foot controls are very, very sort of floaty. But, you got this one, you've got Contrast and Resogun at no cost with the PlayStation Plus subscription, so certainly Resogun is worth it, and Contrast is nice to have. My only complaint, outside of the fact that I question the stability, is that, you can't do the external video capture. And I think this sort of speaks to the fact that Sony's taking control away from you here. I mean, I think they're trying to control the information that comes out about this console in social media by, only, I guess, letting the major outlets capture video off of it. And that's a shame. I think, and as is the fact that you can't upload directly to YouTube, you can only use Facebook, and with at least the Twitch streaming, you can't archive your broadcast. So they do not want you to control the content that comes out of this box, and they want to limit your ability to produce content based on the PlayStation 4, which to me is absurd because, I mean, think about it. They are getting mostly good press here. I mean, obviously the people with the complaints and whatnot, but, perhaps capturing this user interface. I'm gonna have to do it, old school with the camera pointed at the television. I mean, that is absolute bullshit for a brand new networked system that is really putting social media at the forefront. It's a shame. It's, limiting our free speech about the system. And I'm sitting here telling you this is a wonderful, wonderful system, save for Sony's attempt to control what you do with it. I think most reviews on YouTube, skew positive, so it's just free advertisement. It's a very, very good system. It's the other thing, by the way, with regard to media, my other complaint is that it doesn't have the DNLA. It can't act as a media server. All the things that the PlayStation 3 did really, really well, and it was one of the features that I used a lot in the PlayStation 3 was its sort of function as a media server. So again, Sony controlling what you can view on the box, a little bit disturbing. Nonetheless, it is a terrific system. I've really been enjoying it. And I think the only question now is how reliable will it be? You have the reports of the people kind of struggling with the early shipments, whether it's the blue light of death or the plastic in the HDMI ports, people having to sort of open up the hard drive, pull it in, pull it out. You've got that sort of fix. I think it's really on Sony. Did they achieve a great price point by putting out a powerful but cheaply made piece of hardware, or is this going to last for a while? My PS3 had a defective Blu-ray drive, and that sort of cropped up maybe 2 years into the life of the system. I got it in 2007. I had to replace that drive in late 2009, early 2010. I hope that's not the case here. I mean, the discs don't spin, so I think less moving parts is always a good thing. I mean, they spin to install, and then you're good to go. But to have those two errors, particularly an error where the system was completely unresponsive, is a cause for concern. But, if this system remains functional, it is really, really tremendous, and I'm quite happy with it. The quality of the games that are out there, I mean, I do have NBA 2K14 and Need for Speed Rivals coming. I may pick up Battlefield 4 today, but there are no real compelling games to sort of bring you into the hardware right away. But I think there's enough out there to, sort of integrate the system within the other systems that, you might be playing and have a really, really good time with it. And then we just have to hope that early to mid 2014 we'll get some more exclusives and really see what the system can do. So thank you, as always, for watching Game Escape, and I'll be back shortly with another video.